One of my absolutely favorite RC airplanes design is the Mustang P51D. I already have the Volantex 768, the P51D, which I really think is a super nice flying RC airplane. Of course, I modified with a new receiver, new speed controller. I also have the E-Machine, the tiny one, the 400mm wingspan, which I run on my Regimaster TX16S, which I think is just maybe one of the absolutely best designed RC airplanes in that size there are, really, because it's just so, I have nothing else to say. It's just a super great one. And now I have another P51D on my table, and this time it's from FMS. So I already have the Ranger 850. I have the T28 800mm. I also have the Zero 800mm. So of course I had to try the Mustang P51D 800mm, and here it is. And this is a little bit different than my Volantex, but because the Volantex is a red tail design, and I actually like the red tail design much better than this one. This is called the Big Beautiful Doll, as you can see on the side of this one. But I mean, this is a tiny bit bigger than the Volantex. It does actually weigh quite a bit more. And of course, I think there are more details on this one than compared to the Volantex. I think the pilot is almost the same guy inside. They are very similar, at least. This one is also just a 4-channel RC airplane, so there are no flaps, there are no LEDs, just ailerons, rudder, elevator, and throttle, so nothing fancy. This one did actually come with a reflex gyro, but I don't want to use the reflex gyro, so I actually put a Spectrum AR637T inside, and to me I think this is one of the best receivers which you can actually have. It's quite expensive, of course. It does actually cost just as much as this plane, but then again I can reuse it again and again, and it does feature AS3X and safe and everything. So the installation was quite easy. I had to glue the rear wing. The main wing is just held by 2 screws. The landing gears just pop into place. I think the prop and spinner was already mounted, so that was great. So I'm really eager to get this one in the air, and I will just try to push it as much as I can. So let's go outside. So let's get up in the air. I won't linger too much. I will just start to do things with the Mustang P51D right away. So let's roll. Yeah. A loop also. Yeah. So I'm just trying to push it a bit. You can certainly tell the trademark of the Mustang P51D, the silhouette when you see it from the underside. So everything I'm doing so far works just great. No hesitation. Power seems to be plenty. Usually I don't push an RC airplane too much on the Maiden, but I'm pretty accustomed to how the Mustang flies right now, so I have no problem pushing this one. I do actually go full throttle on many of these maneuvers when I'm doing these passes. And it does take a bit of more speed to actually force to actually do these things than, for instance, the Volantex, which I just think floats in there. This is not as nicely floating as the Volantex. And the prop sound, I don't know if there's some sort of imbalance in the prop, because it does. It's much more noisier than the Volantex, and it's actually more noisier than the FMS Zero. So I'm doing another lower pass just to see the Mustang. It looks nice. It does. It's just super nice to do these kind of semi-slow rolls. I really adore the shape of the Mustang P51D. I think it's a beautiful, amazing looking plane overall in all sizes. So I'm trying to go slower just to get a sense of how this one actually floats. And you can most definitely slow it down. It does feel like it's a bit more unstable. The wing does rock a bit, which usually is an indication of an imminent stall. But I'm pushing it in the turns, so it should be no problem. So let's do a touchdown then. One more turn. Let's see how it goes. Okay, nose over. I think I just had a bit of a bad angle on the when I touched down. I grazed the wing, I think. So let's just taxi a bit on the ground. Well, the coolest thing of this one, I think, is actually the spinner. So let's just look at from the front. You can see the black and white. It looks so really cool. I can see the tips of the blades also. It's a really nice spinner and nice prop on this Mustang. So some post-Maiden flight thoughts then. I have to say that I enjoy to fly this one. I have to also say that this does not fly as good as the Volantex, but overall the quality of the airplane is better than the Volantex, especially the landing gears. They are much better on this one, and it does actually feature things like these drop tanks, which you can remove and slide them on and off if you please. And I mean, this spinner just looks quite amazing, really. But the paint scheme, I'm not really too convinced about this big, beautiful doll design. Although it looks nice, I think it's better to have more red on an RC plane because it's much easier to see. But this is surely a nice-looking RC airplane. I have to say that compared to the FMS Zero, I think that the Zero, at least to me, the Zero looks better than this one. There's nothing wrong with this one, but the Zero just looks so nice. And I actually think that the T28 is kind of striking design. It's kind of odd shape also with the kind of large canopy. I mean, this is, I mean, the Mustang is a classic, and this is also a classic, but it's not the best Mustang, it's not. And I will, maybe I will just try to find other Mustang P51s to fly, because I really, I adore the style and the design of them, and I think they are super nice RC airplanes to fly. They are quite easy. They are warbirds, of course, but they are quite easy to fly. So, I mean, that's the FMS Mustang P51.